I'm here to show you the new PS3 mod. This is completely original. Nobody I have ever seen has done this before. Basically, it's a PS3 cooling unit I bought from Futureshop.ca. This is only for Canadians. The US cannot get the parts for this. Basically, I've got this cooler right here, and I bought a 4 USB port hub. You open it up, and you need to swap out the USB cord for a full-size 4 cord inside of it. It comes with a standard 2 cord, which won't work for this. You then open it up with the screws in the back, and you have to chip some holes out of the back right here so that you can get 4 full-size USB ports right in the back of it. You then have 3 fans that are built right in. You need to run some wires. I've also got a LED right in the back, just to let you know that it's on. Then you can paint it up all nice. It's got a speed control right there, and it works really well. Basically, this is what it looks like when you've got it all taken apart. You've got your USB ports right here. You've got 2 fans taken out. Important. When you're gluing in your USB ports, you have to have this fan in, or you will not be able to slide it in, because your one screw hole is covered by it. Still works fine though. First thing you'll do, will remove the wire that comes out of this hole right here. You need to drill another hole about 3/4 of an inch back, so you can clear this wheel. That's your speed control. You need to strip all your wires. You have a red, black, white, and green wire. Red and black are your positive and negative. Then you've got 2 data transfers. Basically, you need to splice your power from your positive and negative off, so you can attach your speed control. So that's what I've got this here for. On mine, the closest one to the hole is positive, the other connection is negative. Test your own, because it's not marked, they're both red wires. Next thing you'll need to do, right here, I've got a little bit of, it's called K-wire, you can pick it up at any electronics store. You'll need to run 2 leads off your positive and negative over here to a enclosed LED, which you can pick up for about $3. After you've got that, make sure you have to drill a hole before you solder anything, because this here only fits in the one way. Next thing you need to do, get 2 pieces of white and green wire. You need to splice them to the pieces coming out of your USB cord. Run them all the way back to where your USB ports are. You can't see mine because they're tucked up in there. After you get that done, make sure everything's got a nice solder connection. Before you've got anything back together, make sure you test it with a computer, preferably, because it's cheaper to replace a computer USB card than it is your whole PS3. Once you get everything back together, test everything, make sure all 3 fans are working. Then you can go ahead and chisel your 2 holes for your USB ports. Once you get those holes chiseled out, I cut mine out and then used a wood burner to make the edges nice. Once you get that, basically glue it in, and I would suggest putting a piece of straightened out hot bottle or plastic just to firm up the USB ports, so you're not relying on just the glue alone. You've also got a mechanical hold. After you've got that done, you have to chip a little piece out of this plate right here, that little chip out, because the way that LED is, it's the exact height of the fan, which is sort of coincidental, but so you need to chip that out so your wires are going to be able to fit through there like that. After you get that done, you have to cut a square out of your fan, like shield, because this has to now clear the edge of your USB port. If you get the exact same part I have, USB port is ridiculously close. It's almost like it was made to fit. I've got about 1 millimeter in between the fan and the USB port. After you get that all done, heat shrink everything up, because you do not want any of this to touch, because that could short out your PS3 and then you've got a hunk of plastic that is worth nothing. After you get all that done, there is sort of a specific way you have to put this stuff back in. The way I did it, I have my big fan going in first. After you get everything glued in, you put in the big fan, slide it down, compact all your wires right in here because they won't fit any other way. Compact all your wires into here. Helps with a screwdriver sometimes. Really tiny. You've got about 3/4 of a millimeter to run all these wires. Anyways, you get the point. Run all these up the side here, beside the fan. Then you have to get your last fan. Make sure these leads are coming out this top corner, and there's no leads underneath. Everything's nice and round. About 2 minutes later, I've got this all together like it should be. As you can see, everything's nice and down flat. You have to run your K-wire around the outside. Basically what I've done, stock all your wires for your fans, come up this one edge right here, and they all splice into the board right there. There isn't much room back here for any more cords, so what I've done, all your heat shrink and everything is going to come up beside this panel right here, and they will run up around the top of the first fan, down the side of the first and second fan, around the bottom right here, because you cannot go up top because there's these two little squares which have no clearance between the fan and the square. They run down here. Your USB ports leads will come down here, up around the side of the fan, flip over and be soldered to the 4 cords coming out of your USB port. Your 2 LED leads, which are these 2 little pieces of K-wire, will be coming up and in between the second and third fan, where you can bundle up all your excess. It's easier to have excess than have it too short, because this panel needs to be free with that little hole there. So just bundle up your wire. You've got a good 3/4 of an inch gap right there, along with another 3/4 of an inch gap here. I do find splicing your K-wire up in here easier, because you have a lot more room to play with your heat shrink rather than in here, which you're sort of stuck with the heat shrink. Your white and green wires, your heat shrink can go right over this little wheel here, which I found worked really good. It doesn't make any noise if it touches, and it sort of protects your 2 data leads from any heat that the PS3 creates. Your power leads you don't really need to worry about, because they're a lot heavier gauge,